2025 is probably going to be a hard year for many people. If you want your story to be different, you cannot do the same thing and expect a different result because that is the definition of insanity. Hey guys, I want you to have an amazing 2025. I want your 2025 to be so good that you literally have to pinch yourself. Like, I cannot believe I had that. However, it is not going to happen automatically. It is not going to happen because you wish it to happen. It is only going to happen because you make it happen. And I will tell you that you are not the only genius that has the same idea of having the best 2025. However, most people are going to fail at it. What I want to share with you on today's episode are the things that you want to do so that you do not dabble in 2025. The things that you want to do if you, as a woman physician, want to look back at 2025 and go, OMG, this was mind blowing. Welcome to the MoneyFitMD show. I'm Dr. Latifat, the founder of MoneyFitMD, and I help women physicians learn money, create the life that they want so that they can have a life of richness, of freedom, and liberation. I am so excited about this episode because, everybody likes the end of the year for the most part. And I think it's really interesting that many people don't actually complete their year before looking to the following year thinking that something is going to magically change. I'm going to lose 100 pounds. This is going to be the year of financial freedom. This is going to be the year that I cut back at work. This is going to be a year that I go on a sabbatical or I decide when I'm going to go on a sabbatical. Like, all of that can be all talk unless you follow those words with actions that will move the needle. So on today's episode, I want to share with you 5 things that I believe that if you can commit to becoming and changing your mind and doing in 2025 will help you have maybe the best year ever. And I know that we like to say, this is going to be my best year ever. This is going to be my best year ever. Part of this is really because I am a huge believer that our future will be better than our past. This is a belief that I hold firmly to, so that regardless of what is happening in my life, regardless of how hard 2024 was, or the bumps and the lumps and all of that stuff, I'm already decided that my future is going to be better. So I know that 2025 is going to be my best year yet. It does not mean that it's going to be perfect, does not mean that things are not going to go like wonky, does not mean that bad things are not going to happen. In fact, I have a feeling, and I've heard this sort of like echoed by many people, that 2025 is probably going to be a hard year for many people. However, it is going to be so, so important that if you don't want to be like everybody else, if you don't want to be like most people, if you want your story to be different, if you want your finances to be different, you cannot do the same thing and expect a different result because that is the definition of insanity. So, what are the 5 things that you can commit to doing this year in 2025 that will help you have the best year yet? And I'm doing this early in the year because I want you to go into 2025 like ready, steady, ready to go, not in a hustly way, like we don't do hustle, but more in a way that is going to help you be well grounded in your faith, grounded in your wealth, grounded in your relationships, so that you can do the work you're here to do in this world, so that you can be a source of encouragement for other people, so that you can become an example of what's possible. So the number one thing that you're going to have to work on, if you don't want to dabble, if you don't want to be like the dabblers in 2025, and if you're watching this video or you're listening on the podcast, it means that your team no dabbling. You are going all in, no dabbling in 2025. And number one thing that you have to do is that you have to work on your goals and be super duper clear on your goals. What do I mean by that? I'm not talking about some, generic, oh, I want to have financial freedom in 2025. No, not that. Like, I'm talking about like specific goals, the things that you want to pursue in 2025, the things that you want to bring to life, that you want to see manifest in 2025. That is what I am talking about. So, for example, some of you guys are here, you've been dreaming about taking time off forever, but you've never done it. You've been dreaming about having dinner with your family forever. You've never done it. You've been thinking about cutting down to 0.6 FTE to 0.8 FTE because you know that is what is going to be of help and service to your family, that is what you need in order to be able to thrive. Some of you guys are like, I want to earn more money, but you're not being specific about how much money you want to earn. The problem with that, though, is that the less specific you are about your goal, the less likely you are to be able to accomplish it. The less intentional you are about your goals, the less likely you are to accomplish it. The less exciting and emotionally igniting your goals are, the less likely you are to accomplish it, right? And I see this over and over and again in women physicians that I've had the privilege of spending time with and coaching or counseling or whatever. And what would happen sometimes is that people will say things like, oh, I don't know, I want to invest in real estate. I want to buy active real estate. When at the end of the day, when you further evaluate and sort of like ask them, maybe for them that year, active real estate is not the way to go. Maybe passive is the way to go. But because they're trying to be like everybody else and their mama, they're not being honest about, they're not being honest to themselves. They're not being conscious about what vehicles they are meant to bring out into the world in that season. So if you want to not be a dabbler in 2025, you have to be clear and specific about your goals, about what you want to accomplish, whose voice is it anyway, by when you want to accomplish it. If you don't do that, it's just going to be like 2025 is literally going to be like a mirror image of 2024. It's going to be exactly the same as every single year where you start the year having all these grand ideas and then end of the year, like wonk wonk again. But if you're listening to this podcast or you're listening to us on YouTube, you already decided that you're not going to be a dabbler in 2025. You are going all in. So type in the chat box if you're on YouTube right now, going all in. I am not a dabbler. I am not a dabbler. That's number one. Number two is this. You are going to, if you don't want to be a dabbler in 2025, you want to have the best year yet, where you're like, oh my goodness, Latifat, I cannot even say in words how this year was. You are going to have to be willing to take risks. You have to be willing to take risks. And I wish that I could sugarcoat it for you, but I would be doing you a disservice if I'm sugarcoating it for you. And the bottom line is that you have to take risks. Like, if you think about, as physicians, we talk about risk benefits all the time. Someone is coming to me for colon cancer screening. There are risks that we are taking. We're taking risk with the potential risk of the procedures like bleeding, perforation, reactions to medication. Those are things that can happen. There are certain things we do to decrease the risk, but there still are risks. The risk is not zero. That's why we have to make sure that the procedure is actually indicated before we do it so that we're not exposing you to risk without any benefits. So the same is true for you in 2025. If you want to go all in, if you want to not dabble in 2025, you have to be willing to take the risks. And I'm not saying that you should go buy like individual stocks in a company that is crashing or put all your money in cryptocurrency or things like that. That's not what I'm talking about. For you, maybe you have to risk negotiating. For you, you may have to risk the discomfort that your body is telling you when you're speaking up for yourself and saying that I don't work on Fridays, right? I remember one of our members inside of the money school who was getting a new job. This was a job she was excited about. It was going to be a lot of leadership positions. She was super duper excited about it. However, prior to being offered this job, she had decided and realized that being off one day a week was like mind blowing for her life. Like, she's like, Latifat, I just feel so much more effective as a human. She's like, feels more like herself. She's spending time with her family. She's having dates with her husband. Her relationship with herself is doing well. She's like taking walks. She's like a completely different person than like a couple of months before. And now she's at this point where she's looking at this new job that she's excited about. But then they were very clear that this was going to be a full-time job. And for her, it was sort of like, oh my goodness, she was getting coaching instead of the money school about the fact that this was uncomfortable for her. And I get it, because it's uncomfortable does not mean it's a wrong move for you. Because it's uncomfortable does not mean that you should go into an agreement that you already know is destined for failure, because you're not going to be your full 100% self in that relationship. You already know that 2 years down the line, you're going to wish that you had made the request. And people forget the fact that the best time to negotiate is before you get started. The best time to get what you want is before you get started. Once you get started, the ship is still. You're already still. I know that kind of rhymed, right? Right? The ship is still. The ship is. I don't remember I don't remember the rhyme anymore. But you'll get what I'm saying. Like even I was like, in terms of like coaching her, I had to stay focused on the fact that I knew what she wanted. I knew what she needed. So I had to coach her based on that and helped her see that backing down was actually of negative potential consequences for her, for her patient, and that job. Because when you're coming into a relationship, like a job or work environment, and you already are are not asking for what you know you need to thrive, you already are going to be a high chance of burning out in that job. So for her, taking a risk was letting the discomfort happen as she negotiated for more than she thought she wanted, as she negotiated for things like CME, as she negotiated for having a day off every week, and especially the fact that the meetings that they actually hold is on the day that she would be taken off. And being comfortable sitting in the discomfort of that was something that was a risk or felt like a risk to her. For you, a risk may be the risk you may want to take is finally deciding to go on all in and starting that practice that you've been dreaming about, right? It may be starting that foundation you've been dreaming about. It may be upping your donation goal for the year. It may be doubling your investment goal for the year. It may be hiring a coach that feels like out of reach for you. Like whatever the risk is, you have to be willing to take the risk by focusing on the return on the investment that you are going to get at the end of the day. You are not going to get the kind of year you want if you're unwilling to go all in and take the risk that your brain is telling you is you're going to be taking. That's what it's going to take. But if you want to look December 31st of 2025 and be partying it up, celebrating because you had the best year ever, despite what was happening around you, you're going to have to take some risk. I am going to have to take some risk. There's some changes that are coming to MoneyFitMD, into the money school, into some of the programs that we're offering that feels like a risk to me. But I would rather become a person that is willing to bet and go all in on herself on the experiments that she's performing than dabbling and like putting one leg in, like put one leg in, one leg out, in, out, and shake it out around. It did the hokey pokey in here. I don't know. I don't know if that song is like a PG song, but whatever. You know, I don't know about you. Like, are you finding out things now that you're an adult that like, wait a minute, what words were we singing when we were babies? Like, I literally have songs that my parents used to play when we were younger. And now I'm like, man, that was some raunchy stuff that we're all like jamming it to, and we had no idea. So I don't know, like we do the hokey pokey. I don't know what hokey pokey we're doing, but y'all get my point. So number two is you're gonna have to take risks. If you want to go all in, you're gonna have to take risks. And for you, it may be your team members. You may need to change members of your team. It feels risky, but you gotta do what you gotta do, right? Number three is this: you have to be vicious. You have to be ferocious. You have to be like, what other word can I use to describe this? You have to be that word that I just described right now about creating environments that will help you become the version of yourself that's going to be able to go all in. What do I mean by that? So, there is a very popular saying that you are the average of the five people you surround yourself with. When I look at the money school and the village of women physicians that I'm so honored to be around, one of the things that women say over and over and over again is how powerful the community is, how powerful being surrounded by, hearing the other women get coached, hearing them celebrate their wins, and seeing their move the needle when it comes to their own rich life, their wealth, their freedom, their schedule, their purpose, and the things that really gives them life. And so you have to be vicious in creating environments like that for yourself. I have to be vicious in creating environments like that for myself. Like we have big goals in money school. We have big goals in Money Fit MD. Like we want to change how financial education is being taught for women physicians. We want to change the, one size fits all way that financial education is being done. We want to change the way that you have to be forced to fit in boxes that were not made with you in mind. We want to change the narrative where women physicians used to be known as the easy targets, the people that did not know anything about finances. But we're here to change that narrative so that you and I, like we women physicians, are known for being great at money. We're known for being unmessable with because we're great negotiators. We practice medicine with what I call two butt cheeks. We have the power of choice in how we spend our time and our life. In order to do that, I have to change. I have to surround myself with people that are doing crazy things, with people that are impacting change in communities, right? If you are a leader, you go first. I have to surround myself with leaders that are going first so that I can do the work that I'm called to do in this world. I have to be so vicious about putting on like mental earplugs that cancels out the noise that says that I have to be who I was 3 years ago, that I'm dreaming too big, that how can we do the work that we're meant to do? Like how can you be a black woman and teach people to negotiate and get paid more than we've been accustomed to? How can you be a woman and be committed to the fact that we're here to close disparities, gaps in wealth that exist in the physician community? Like those dreams are big and scary. They're scary, right? However, in order to be able to do that, I have to surround myself with people that believe that the impossible can be possible. So I cannot be dabbling myself. I cannot be like resetting my temperature to those that are around me, maybe physically, that may not have dreams of changing communities, of changing narrative, of changing healthcare the way that I dream of, right? I have to be vicious. Like you have to be vicious. And if you don't have that community yet, it's time for you to search and grow that community. The Money Fit MD community may be the place for you. It may not be the community for you, right? We're not for everybody. We're here to do amazing work. We're here to help women that want to go all in. That's what I'm here to do in 2025. And if you're a dabbler, we may not be for you, and that's okay. There may be communities for dabblers out there. Go find it and plug into it. But you have to be so clear on your goal that you're so clear about the communities that's going to help you thrive in that. And that is what is going to take for you and I to do amazing stuff in 2025. And the next step, the next one is this, guys. This one I'm kind of adding there. You have to get connected with your faith. And I'm a Christian. I don't know what that is for you, but it is impossible for me to do the work that I'm called to do at a level that is all within my own personal limit and my own personal power and my own personal desire. Because you know what the funny thing is? I'm actually someone that by default, maybe I do play small. I'm happy with you and I just hanging out, all four of us, with a blanket, with a hot chocolate, and just chilling, doing just chilling. And I do that. However, I know that I'm also called to bigger things. I know that I'm called to make a change, to impact people. And when I talk about money, when I talk about wealth, all of that is in a way that is wholesome. And I believe that our faith is a huge part of wealth. So if you want to go all in, if you want to not dabble in 2025, you're going to have to decide for yourself how you want to be more intentional and more intimate with your creator, how you want to be more intentional about growing your faith and getting, like, leaning not on your own understanding, understanding that there's only so high and so deep you can go in a physical way. There has to be a spiritual component to it, whether you know it or not, there is. But if you want to go all in and really completely unleash in 2025 to become all that you've called to be, that is what is going to require. In 20, I can't believe I'm not saying in 2023 to 2024, but in 2023 to 2024, my family and I took a year away from medicine, we just went off the grid. We like traveled around the world. It was amazing, life changing. And if that's something that you want to do, you don't have to start from scratch. I literally created a guide that you can access. It's by going to moneyfitmd.com, sabbatical, and you will learn the things that I believe will help you not have to start from scratch. But what I will say was that that trip literally changed me, hopefully forever. And what it did was it helped our roots get deeper in our faith, in ourselves, in our relationship, just being clear on what the heck we're here for. And what that led to was a deepening of our roots in a way that I never imagined. And then 2024 happened, and 2024 had some amazing stuff, but had some really crappy stuff also happen in it. I've shared with you guys in the past that we lost my mother-in-law without any warning. Literally, she was unwell for 2 hours and phew, she was gone. 2024 really did shake us in many ways. And if you're in my email community, I've shared some of that with you guys. It's interesting how a year can be one of the best, but also like really, really like shattering as well. And 2024 was that for me and for my family. And the things that has helped us is the benefit of the work that we did in 2023 to 2024. We dipped in our roots, really helped us have our anchor. But also beyond that is the work that we've continued to do through the daily prayer call that my husband and I host on Zoom. If you're interested in that, just send me an email at moneyfitmd@gmail.com, or you can send me a message on Instagram or Facebook. I'm happy to share the Zoom link with you. We meet on Zoom Mondays through Saturdays from 5:30 a.m. Pacific time to about 6:30 a.m. Pacific time on those days, and it literally has changed not just our lives, but transformed the lives of the people that have been on there. But that has been a huge part of not just deepening our roots, but also like widening our capacity in 2024. In 2025, if you want to not dabble, if you want to go all in and get everything that is available for you, you're going to have to be more intimate with your faith. You're going to have to be more intimate with your creator. For me, that's like praying, that's meditating, that's hanging out with Jesus every single day, because that is literally the source from which everything that I do flows. That's my biggest secret sauce. That is not a secret. And as my commitment to always share the good stuff with you guys, if I'm holding that out on you, trust me, I'm not giving you the good stuff. I'm giving you the cheap stuff. But I want to give you the best of what I got. And part of that is directly correlating with how deep and how grounded I am with my faith and why I'm here. And in 2025, that's something that I'm going to continue to grow. And I really encourage you to do that as well, because I don't think 2025 is going to be easier. I actually think it's going to be harder for most people. But wherever you're finding your anchor, there's a scripture that is one of my GPSs really for 2025, and it's from Psalm 91 that talks about those who hide in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Like that is where I hide. That's where I thrive. Everything that you see is a direct overflow from that relationship. Okay. So that's number 4. And then number 5 is this: you need a vision. You need a vision. You need a clear vision. Right. And one of the things that I talk about is the importance of having like a vision board, vision guide, like whatever it is you want to call it, like whether it's a physical board or like something that you've created. Like we, in the past, we've done like vision boards, and I'm going to have a vision board for 2025. But we have more of like a vision guide, which is like where my husband and I have come together about like what our vision for our family is going to be in 2025. And so it's my job and our job to like literally review that statement like every single week so that we're keeping it at the forefront of our mind. We've made it plain so that it's easy for us to follow. Simple English, no complicated, but that's what we're going to be following. So for you, what is your vision? And when I'm saying vision, I'm not just talking about money only. I'm talking about the different arms of wealth. Like when it comes to your rest, when it comes to your giving, when it comes to your relationship, when it comes to your finances and your net worth growth, when it comes to the assets that you want to create, when it comes to like the enjoyment and the fun you want to have. And like I mentioned above, when it also comes to like your faith and how you want to develop your faith. So like, what is your vision? This year is not going to be perfect. You're not going to do it all perfect. But I would tell you that those that go in with a vision, those that keep reminding themselves and putting the vision in a place where they're seeing it frequently and regularly and are able to execute on that vision to the end of 2025 are the ones that are going to have the best year ever. The key is this, guys. You have control. You have a part to play. And I like to remind us that the best way to do things is to go in with the end in mind. What do you want your 2025 to look like? I remember in 2023, I was very clear about what I wanted. I wanted to have a YOLO year. I wanted to have like fun year. I wanted to have a year where we're like spending more than we're not spending. We're spending on assets, meaning that we're spending on things that increase in value over time. And us traveling as a family, in my opinion, is an asset. So we're spending on that. Right. I was clear about what that vision was. And so I was able to execute on that. We had the most amazing time. We wanted to do 10 countries. We ended up going to 20 countries. Best time ever. And I will do it again in a heartbeat. Right. That was the end in mind. So we took actions and made decisions based on the end that we had in mind. So for you, you have to do the same. What do you have in mind for 2025? Are you clear about that yet? Because if you're not clear, you're going to be dabbling. And if you're dabbling, you're going to get what you get. And don't throw a fit, right? But if your goal is to have the best year ever, I am so sure, I am so clear that if you commit to those 5 things and ask yourself, what are my goals? And am I being clear and specific enough on my goals? Right? What risk am I gonna take? Am I going all in? Like what noises, what voices am I gonna like mental plugs on? Right? How vicious, like what communities am I going all in? It may feel like a stretch, it may feel uncomfortable, but where am I willing to put myself in order to have the best year? We did that in 2024. I hired a coach that was probably like the most expensive that I've ever paid for a group coaching environment before, like talk multiple 5 figures, like not low, like go up, 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 right? But I'm so glad that I did, because the person that I became, the person that my husband became, the person that our family became, because we did that, is the woman that is going to be able to do the things that I'm committing to doing in 2025. The other thing is your faith, like I mentioned. Are you willing to go all in? Are you willing to commit to the daily habit that's going to help you like transform your life? Transform your life. I am going to be in 2025. One of the things that I'm bringing that I'm so excited about is Unleash, which is like those faith based conversations that I'm going to be having once a month for our broad MoneyFitMD community. You're very, very welcome to come check it out. We're going to make sure that we'll start putting the links in the show notes. If you're not in my email community yet, you need to be in there. And the easiest way to go in there, just go to moneyfitmd.com/cash flow. Just go in. Just like literally find anywhere, like find a window, find wherever way you can get to my email, because those of you guys that are staying engaged this year, you're about to have like such transformation. And it's not because I am the most amazing person ever. It's just because I am committed to doing that. I'm committed that this year I want to bring along women physicians that are ready to go all in, that are ready to go all in on who they were born to be, who they're created to be, on their finances, on their rest, on their wellness, on their development. But it starts with becoming that person. And if you are someone that you're looking for that, if you're like Latifat, I want to go all in. I want to go all in. I want to work on those goals, and I cannot do it by myself. I need a community, like you said. I need a coach. I need support. I need someone to be able to keep me accountable. I need someone that is not just talking the talk, but walking the imperfect walk. Then go ahead, go to moneyfitmd.com/MSB. If you scroll to the bottom, you see a link there where you can, apply to work with me for a year inside of the Money School coaching community. You will be able to schedule a call, and that way we can see if you're the right fit or not. And for 2025, at least the beginning, I'm going to be the one doing the consultation calls. So I want to chat with you and see how we can serve you, if we can serve you, and if the Money Fit MD community is for you. So I cannot wait. I know 2025 is going to be amazing. It's going to be powerful. And it's not going to be because we're just talking, talk. It's because we're not just talking, we're becoming, we're doing, and that, my dear, is how we're going to have. So if you're on Facebook or if you're on YouTube right now and you're watching this video, I want you to type all in 2025, all in 2025. And if you are listening on the podcast, you can leave a review by typing in. You can leave a review on whatever platform you're listening. Just go, thank you, Latifat. I'm going all in 2025. You cannot do it alone. You cannot do it alone. I can tell you, it doesn't matter how amazing you are, you cannot do it alone, because you are not meant to do it alone. We're meant to thrive in communities. We're meant to grow in communities. And again, if you want to work together in mind with me and the powerful women in a one-of-a-kind money community for women physicians only, women physicians and dentists, we do have some dentists. We work well together. The rest of y'all, I don't know. I don't think we're muy simpático. All right. Love you guys so much. If this has been helpful for you, make sure you share it with those that are listening. Those are in your community, actually, that I may not even know. Text them the link so that they can listen and we can all enjoy our 2025 together. Cheers. Thank you for being a part of my world. I love you guys so much. Goodbye.